What's up guys, it's Anthony. Welcome back to the Scrambler vlog that I'm still trying to make a thing. And in today's short video, we're gonna be doing a DB killer delete on my R9T. Alright guys, so as I mentioned in my introduction video to this bike, the stock Akrapovic, whatever the heck you want to call it, has a DB killer welded in on this exhaust. This exhaust is beautiful, I love the look of it, I would like to keep it for a while, but it needs to be louder. Now if you haven't heard what this sounds like, here's a good clip. So as you can hear, the bike sounds good from behind, but when I'm riding the bike, it's pretty much inaudible. It's not loud at all, and I would like it to have just a little bit more oomph to it. If I can kind of accentuate the cracks and pops and things like that, I'd be much, much happier. Now down the road, I would like to do a full system from the header back, but exhaust systems on these bikes are not cheap, so it's gonna have to wait just a little while. So I'm gonna make the most of my current exhaust system by doing the DB killer delete, and then I'm also going to be eliminating this little flapper guy right here once I get the connector pipe. And so once I do that, I should have a very thorough full system minus the cat there, but once the cat's gone and I upgrade the headers, this should technically sound pretty dang good. So anyways, we're gonna be removing these 5 Torx screws right here on both bottom and top. Once those are pulled off, we're gonna have access to the welds. So for this, I grabbed some fancy cobalt drill bits. So I was gonna go with titanium, but this was apparently better for stainless steel. So we're just gonna start stepping up from the 7/64, step up to the 5/32, the 3/16, up to the quarter if we need to go up to a quarter. But the welds aren't that big. I just don't want to drill a bigger hole than what's needed. So after we drill the holes and drill out the welds, that's when we're going to take my fancy slide hammer here, which is actually from a paintless dent removal kit I picked up off of Amazon. It's like 20 bucks. It's a very cheap slide hammer, but it'll work. And so I'm gonna use one of the plastic bits here that comes for dent pulling. I taped it on so it won't fall out. Once we stick this in here, like so, I'll be able to catch on to the back of that lip there and then tap, tap, tap until that comes out. And that way we won't damage the inside of the muffler there. So this should go pretty fast, pretty simple. Knock on wood, I hope it does at least, and hopefully we'll have a better sounding exhaust. All right guys, so quick update here. So I've been struggling with this for maybe 30 minutes or so. So the previous drill bits I picked up, the cobalt bits, just weren't enough to cut it. So I went back to the store. I bought a different cobalt bit thinking that that might help, but I also bought it's a Stinger Mock Blue spider bit, and I bought one of these right here, and I gave it a rip, and it was like night and day difference. So I went back to the store, bought all of them that I need. So I'm just going to continue stepping up. So I'm going to start with the little guy, work my way up to 5/32, 3/16, keep going up to whatever the heck this is, 7/32, and then a quarter if I need to. I'm going to try to keep this hole as small as I can, but again, it just depends on how big that weld is. So I'm just going to keep going until things free up, and then take the slide hammer and go. So here we go. Here's what it looks like. So really, the only hole that really matters visually that you're going to see is this bottom hole, and that was one of my cleaner ones. So everything else gets covered. So it looks pretty damn good, man. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. So now it's time for the bottom. Run through the same process. Just keep stepping up from these blue bits here all the way up to the quarter. This one right here has smaller welds than this one did, so I think that I don't have to go as hard. So we'll kind of go from there and see what happens. I had a feeling. If you're persistent and you keep banging, it's gonna work out. Bam. That's it. 1/4 inch bit. That was the trick. All the holes look good. Now before it gets too late, I'm gonna start this thing up before I piece everything back together because I'm dying to hear how this thing sounds. Oh yeah. Alright guys, so with everything sewn back up, I want to give you my final thoughts on the DB Killer Delete on the OEM Akra exhaust. So it wasn't the hardest thing in the world as long as you have the right tools. So those cobalt bits that I showed you at the beginning just weren't cutting it. So once I switched to the spider bits, that was a game changer and it was able to zip through those spot welds. The slide hammer that I picked up in that car dent pulling kit was also a game changer and a huge help, and it helped me remove the baffles without damaging the inside of the muffler there. So I've seen people use 90-degree needle nose pliers and things like that, but that may actually scratch up and damage the inside of the muffler more than what's necessary. So maybe picking up a slide hammer is in your best interest. Now, in terms of the sound improvement of the bike, which is the whole point of this process in the first place, it definitely sounds better. I know it's hard to capture on camera, but it definitely is louder and has more of a deeper growl. You can also feel the brappiness in the throttle, if that even makes any sense. It just feels more responsive. That's probably the best way to describe it. Now, the only trade-off of doing this whole DB Killer Delete is that I've developed a little bit of a whistling sound. And if you watch that previous clip, you'll hear what sounds like a whistle, and that is actually coming from where I deleted the baffles. So what it is air is passing through here, going through these little holes and probably bouncing around the outside of this cap here and developing a whistle. And so it's very interesting. It doesn't sound bad in person. On camera, it probably sounds kind of janky, but it basically kind of sounds like a 3-cylinder from this way out, but when you're on the bike, you don't hear the whistle at all. So it's definitely a cool sound. I really, really like it. I suppose if you wanted to eliminate the whistle, you might be able to band the outside of this, or maybe even fill the holes maybe with some type of weld or something just to eliminate that. But overall, I'm super happy with how it turned out, and hopefully this was helpful if you have the same bike and want to do this for yourself. So anyways guys, that's a wrap. I enjoyed the process. As always, if you guys like this video, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Salt Anthony. Peace.